Good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Francis Austin-Lawyer.
And I'm Jacob Potter.
We bring you the latest sporting news across the country, including the Oscar Pistorius saga.
But first, we head to Australia. With day 3 set to start in just 6 hours' time, the 2017 Ashes series is delicately balanced in Brisbane. The end of the second day saw England run out for a total of 302, taking an 137-run lead into the Australian innings. And Australia ended play at 165 for 4 thanks to some fine batting from their captain Steve Smith, who came in at 76 for 4 and went on to make an unbeaten 64.
Seaman Jake Paul, who took the vital wicket of David Warner, believes his side are in a very good position headed into the third day.
We feel we're in a decent position. Get a good night's sleep and a bit of rest and come out hard in the morning. If we nick a couple out and then you're into like Stark and Cummins, I think that's a good position for us to be in.
In other news, Oscar Pistorius has today seen his jail sentence doubled to 13 years and 5 months for murdering his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp. This comes after his prosecutors argued that a 6-year term was shockingly light. Pistorius was originally found guilty of culpable homicide in 2014, but the appeal court changed the verdict to murder in 2015 without an increased sentence.
The respondent sentenced to imprisonment for a period of 13 years and 5 months. I hereby hand down the judgment.
Oxford has Cambridge, Harvard has Yale, and Southampton Solent has Bournemouth. Aside from them being universities, the next thing they have in common is their intense varsity rivalry. Southampton, Solent and Bournemouth will compete next May in the annual event, which is being taken seriously that they've already begun their photo shoot. Tash Morsman is part of the ladies badminton team here at Solent, and she's already counting down until May.
I think we have a good chance, but I'm not sure about the other standard of the other players yet, but hopefully I think we'll have a good chance, yeah, I'm really excited. Everyone said it's like the best day of the year, so I'm hoping it'll be a really fun day.
Bournemouth University footballer Clive McRaney was on the losing side last year and is looking to get revenge on their South Coast counterparts.
Football we lost, last year we lost on penalties, went to penalties, It was a really good game. Atmosphere was unbelievable.
Is that like?
Yeah, definitely. Like it's getting bigger and bigger each year. Like last year, the atmosphere was so much bigger than the year before, and this year we're looking for it to be even bigger. So yeah, I can't wait for it.
And we can now go live to the photo shoot there with Tom Norris. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Jacob. Hi, Francis. Yeah, I'm here in the studio, and it's pretty quiet now. This photo shoot's finished. It was a hectic day. They were in here for a good couple hours. You had all the kind of sports. You have football, hockey, badminton. They were all here, and this is this will be the third varsity. It started in 2016. The last 2 have been won by Bournemouth, so we'll definitely be hoping for a Southampton win. Now, with me here to bring a more outside perspective is Australian Ben. Now, how's today been for you?
Today's been a lot of fun. It's nice doing something a little bit different than just playing football and just being on the pitch. So it's nice to be here in the studio and having some fun, meeting some of the Bournemouth players and talking to some other people from other sports other than just football. So it's been a lot of fun.
Was there plenty of banter between the 2 universities?
Yeah, there was a lot of banter. So I thought when we first saw some of the Bournemouth uni people turning up that it might be a little tense, but everyone was in the right spirit. Everyone was having a good time. So we had a lot of fun with it.
And as far as the football's concerned, how well are you looking ahead of the match?
We're doing really well this year. So we've got the right setup. We've got a great group. So we're feeling very confident. So we're really hoping that we can get the win.
Okay. Well, thanks. And being Australian, obviously there's a rivalry of its own going on over in Australia between England and Australia. Let's hope we have a Southampton win as well as an England Ashes win. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tom. The Football Association will begin a study next year into the link between football and brain damage. Dr. William Stewart will lead the research, and it hopes it will provide an understanding of the long-term health impacts of football within the next 2 to 3 years. Former Southampton manager Chris Nicholl is currently living with brain damage, which he believes is from the effects of repeatedly heading a football, but says he has no regrets.
It was my job to win balls. I was 6'1", so I was the tallest defender. I wouldn't change anything. I had such a good time and I enjoyed doing what I was doing, and I was good at it.
Southampton Solent's American football team, Solent Redhawks, is a great example of sport growing in the UK. Training has begun ahead of the new season with several new faces, but do they have what it takes to bridge the gap to the NFL? Jack Flanagan went out to find more.
Solent Redhawks are one of Southampton Solent University's biggest clubs. Every year, the Redhawks attract a new horde of freshers, bidding to become the next Tom Brady or Ray Lewis. In recent years, the sport's popularity in general has continued to increase. The UK has played host to several American football games at Wembley, and there are also a number of teams at a variety of age groups growing across the country. But Redhawks coach John Holloway, a former employee of the National Football League, believes the gap between English players making it to the heights in the NFL is at the moment a little bit too far of a jump to make.
The only way is for them to go, while they're still fairly young, to go play kind of 16 to 19, play some high school, play college. Realistically, that's the only way they're going to get out there.
Holloway admits that having been in the sport for nearly 15 years, participation has increased on all platforms.
Every year there's new teams at every level of sport coming in, so adult, women's is really growing, kids teams, university. So I mean, for the last 10-15 years since I've kind of been involved, every year there's been more and more teams joining.
Edward Wise, who is one of the more experienced players in the setup, says there is no real link between playing in England and then translating that into the NFL.
There's no real pathway to the NFL from England as a whole, but I mean there's senior ball, so a lot of people play places there's senior ball, so there's a Solent Thrashers team, Southampton Thrashers, sorry, so that will probably be, if I'm staying in Southampton, the goal to join their team.
Wise also stated that the draft system in America is the only real route into the NFL, meaning chances for international players are slim to none.
In America, the kids they're trained so hard at a young age, and with the draft it goes through their college system, and their college system is just American colleges, so there's no English universities in that college system. It hasn't been thus far. There could be, as it's rising, I feel like in the next maybe 5-10 years there will be English players or European players breaking through.
The Solent team are training towards another year of competition, and with star quarterback Archie Stevens likely to miss the entirety of this season with a broken leg, the Redhawks have a tough campaign ahead of them.
Former Manchester City and Real Madrid forward Robinho has been sentenced to 9 years in prison after being found guilty of rape. The Brazilian was one of 6 men who sexually assaulted an Albanian woman in a Milan nightclub back in 2013. Robinho wasn't present at the hearing in Italy, where the court heard that the gang of men had tampered with the victim's alcohol whilst in the club. The sentence will be placed on hold until the appeals process is complete.
It is now just 6 days until one of the most famous names in the sport makes a comeback. Tiger Woods will be teeing up at next week's Hero World Challenge despite only playing in 3 tournaments since August 2015. Without doubt, the 14-time major champion is a golfing great. However, he sits outside the top 1,000 players in the world rankings. Despite the setbacks, England Justin Rose has insisted that Woods is in good shape and it's great to have Tiger back. In the Rugby League World Cup tournament, favourites and hosts Australia have cruised through to the final. They beat Fiji 54-6 and now only have conceded 3 tries throughout their whole campaign. England have the chance to meet up the Kangaroos in an all-important match if they can dispatch Tonga in the early hours tomorrow.
To basketball now, the UK is lagging behind other top countries both in terms of national team performances and grassroots participation. Our reporter Jack Cochrane visited a group of players from around the world here in Southampton to see how they enjoy the game.
I'm now Lewis, from England, and come here for the social side.
Hello, moje imię jest Adrian Kinecki, jestem z Polski.
Hello, Kumbwama Antonio Singh.
Olá, eu sou Ernesto Ventura.
Yeah, I'm Dylan. I'm from the Caribbean, currently studying at Southampton.
As we all know, the popularity of basketball in this country lags far behind the sport's leading nations in Europe, let alone the mighty USA. So where were these interviews filmed? You'd be forgiven for guessing any number of countries before you thought of Britain, but you'd be wrong. This diverse group of players come together twice a week, right here in Southampton.
I've been here in Southampton for 3 years now. Now we are playing basketball, we are enjoying with people. So it's a good place to be, good place relaxing, practicing, so all good.
I come here to play basketball every Tuesday with my friends. I come here because this is the only time that I can exercise. Obviously, it helps me in that.
Currently studying at Southampton, Solent Uni. My free time, I like to go to the basketball court and work out, meet people and socialize.
Okay, so it's my second week coming here. I heard about it through a friend who plays for the uni basketball team. He told me to come give it a go, and coming down, really enjoying it.
Yeah, I know, but them speak this. And but in that.
Yes, so I'm here in Southampton from since the 2015, and I'm here to study at the Warsash Maritime Academy. And normally I used to come here in Tuesday and the Friday just to play basketball, so that I can enjoy myself.
A United Nations of basketball, if you will, in the middle of a country that's yet to truly find its feet in the sport.
Basically what we do over here with the time that is not used for clubs, for any activity done with the university, we open the sports hall for members of the public and the students, so they can come in and enjoy the game over here at St. Mary's. So basically we own the sports center in Southampton that allow people from the streets, you pay a small fee, you come in, you mix with other people and just have a game of basketball over here at St. Mary's.
This celebration of multiculturalism shows us that all the sport really needs to grow is the funding for available facilities, and people will show up to play. Sport England have, to some extent, obliged. Basketball England have been awarded £4.73 million in funding over the next 4-year cycle. It's a small step, but one in the right direction. We can certainly take more inspiration from other nations on how to catch up.
In local sport, Eastleigh travel to Halifax tomorrow in the National League, looking to build on their dramatic late point from Tuesday night's match with Maidenhead United. Despite trailing 2-0 after 84 minutes, the Spitfires got back on level terms through Ayo Obileye's goal and a stunner from Ben Williams.
Southampton are also in action this weekend. They host fellow Premier League strugglers Everton on Sunday with kick-off at 1:30. And whilst on the subject of the Premier League, the top 6 are all in action this weekend, the pick of the ties being Chelsea's visit to Anfield. That's all from us today at Solent Sports News, and thank you for watching. Please keep up to date on our social media platforms where we will bring you breaking news from across the globe.